Hey, we got a good one today. This should inspire some new readers to pick up and get started on something they didn't know. Some new titles close to their infancy, easy to pick up. Let's get into it. Welcome back. I am Drum Boy Read Slow, and I'm doing another episode, kind of gearing up towards something that's going to be a weekly thing for me. It might be broken up into parts each week, or it might all be in one episode. But we're starting a readers list with titles that are under 12 issues still, and we're trying to get people caught up on stuff that's right now current. And so today I got 3 titles. Today's a threefer, and first we got the great and often mentioned on this channel, Robert Kirkman's Skinbreaker. I was really excited when I saw the artwork for this and the previews for this. Other reviewers have said it, but oh my god, I thought Apocalypto, like right away. I was thinking that like from the very first artwork. Then we have something a little bit more down to earth and not so alien, we'll say, because there's definitely an alien thing going on there, a little bit of an Avatar. We got No Man's Land by I'm hoping I'm saying it right, Simon Kudransky. This is an amazing title for one thing in definite particular. If you look at that one-man art, this is a one-man project, and when you actually get a look at the artwork inside, whew, this guy's got some dedication. And we're all familiar with the title Battlebeast. I finally got to issue 6, and I have some choice words, some good choice words maybe, about that title and where it's going from here. So let's get into this bad boy. First up, we got Skinbreaker by the great Robert Kirkman, who also happens to be doing Transformers currently, so talk about a full schedule. We know Robert Kirkman for a lot of things, and excitement and plot intrigue are definitely his strong points. This one has me so excited. I had such high expectations for this project, and I am so glad it's delivering. So I might be a little late to the party on this one, but that's kind of the point. You know, maybe you are too. And wow, this was a fast read. Definitely delivered. I do in a small way regret that I've given myself access to having to experience cliffhangers for more than 10 seconds. Yeah, I love having all the issues for a run, all stacked up for me, and then just one after another, banging them out. That's my way, and that's how this channel is modeled for some of the stuff that's a little bit more in a complete phase, 24 issues or more. But right now, what we have is something very new, very fast-paced, and by the end of issue 2, we get the picture of the bigger story. What we've been getting for the first 2 issues is more or less the backstory. Now we're up to current in the closing pages of issue 2, and I can honestly say, once again, Robert Kirkman's delivering on, the whole conflict. In The Walking Dead, for example, they had to make such hard choices in regards to human life, weighing out risk for reward, and that ended up being one of the driving points of the series, and it's no different here. Someone's life hangs in the balance, but the fate of it's like this alien tribe on this alien planet. The fate of a tribe hangs in the balance as well. And so our hero, very early on has to make a very, very difficult, at least for him. There's other tribes members that would gladly, show their bloodthirst and jump ahead of him if they thought they could. But, he's kind of like the chosen one who has to do this very difficult thing in a lot of the tribes people's eyes. And so I don't want to ruin it too much. What I'm going to do is basically get in what everyone else has already said, unfortunately. But my first impression, just looking at this concept art and seeing it in the back of Robert Kirkman issues, like issues of Void Rivals and such, I was sold right away. My first thought, you know, I didn't immediately jump to Avatar like everyone else. I was immediately on that apocalypto vibe. I was hoping apocalypto, and it's pretty. It does remind me. And David Finch's artwork is phenomenal. I mean, this is some of the best artwork I've seen since I'd say like Precious Metal last year. This is really good stuff. This is a very good starting point. If you think comics are too dorky for you, if you would like, you know, kind of consider yourself more of a movie person, maybe consider the fact that the reason you're not going to movies as much anymore or streaming them as much as anymore is because they don't have a passion for the art form that they should. This feels like a movie. This feels like the movies I've compared it to. Give it a shot. This is about as engaging of a comic without, you know, getting wordy or getting too pretentious as you get. And Robert Kirkman, I mean, he gave you The Walking Dead, so it might be worth a shot. 2 issues in, we can expect issue 3 on November 26th, and this is gonna go for, I believe, 10 or 12 issues. So I'm super excited, and you should be too. Honestly, gonna go ahead and give Skinbreaker by Robert Kirkman a 9 out of 10 for now. Next up, it is No Man's Land by Simon Kudransky. This is a one-man project, as I previously mentioned. The artwork is just out of this world. Let's take a look at that. There's a lot of projects with one person as the designer of the entire idea, concept, proof of concept, storyboard, everything. They take on every single role, and they carry that weight through to the end. What we have with No Man's Land by Simon Kudransky is a project of passion. I mean, this is absolutely beautifully drawn. I can't believe one guy did this. The story itself is engaging. I was actually thinking, wow, this is a little bit wordy. I might have to tap out. But in the reality, I got pulled in, and I got pulled in hard. This is sophisticated stuff, and I really want to get as many people on this book as possible. The artwork feels cinematic. The world building of the mystery unfolding. The very, very familiar tropes that help start the plot. Everything is done in such an amazing and artistic, but also very realistic and human way. This feels like a very real story. It feels like a live action movie. So what is No Man's Land about? Well, the premise is so this is back in the Cold War, and the premise is pretty simple with the actual main character initially. We've seen that part before, but I'll get to that. But essentially, what No Man's Land, it's actually referring to a place in geography located between the basically Alaska and where the USSR are most closely linked, and a pair of islands, one belonging to the United States and one belonging to Russia. They are situated between this. I think it's called the Bering Strait. I might be incorrect, but it's very well laid out in issue 1 and more softly built upon in issue 2. So you get a little bit of like a history lesson, and a geography lesson. But essentially, in this trajectory between the two nations, there's a section that basically forms like an ice bridge. You can walk from one end to the other and literally be trespassing as a spy in Russia, you know. But anyhow, there is a mystery unfolding. There's a period, an area in between the two islands that are owned by the separate nations. They they call this area no man's land, and there's a mystery unfolding there. It is a murder investigation, and at the cost of being, cheapening this review and making it kind of just cutting to the point. Like I want to say it was last year or 2 years ago, we had Image from Image, the one hand and the six fingers, which were a pair of graphic or miniseries that they combined for one total story, and it kind of was the same premise where, in this case, it's an FBI agent. He's trying to retire to keep his family together because of course the wife is at home angry with him, blah blah blah. That real tension on the man that he really, you can feel his desire to get out, and of course they're like, we need you to do one more case. It's a matter of national security, and you're not getting a choice. You signed a contract, so we're keeping you on. So he embarks on this investigation, and it is very twisty. It definitely feels like something that is rooted in like the real world, but at the cost of cheapening things up. I gotta just go the movie route because I want people to read this. I don't want them to sit here and listen to me drone. The atmosphere, everything, definitely, might not speak to these volumes, but for me, what I really saw in this was like Seven, the movie Seven. The same kind of setup, well, maybe not, yeah, I mean, that was supposed to be Morgan Freeman's last case, I believe. So it's like Seven, basically, with like a Cold War twist to it, but don't think that it's going to be something corny. There's definitely a deranged character who is shrouded in mystery, and then you also don't know, because what's kind of interesting is that there's a Russian investigator who's coming from the other side, and almost immediately they decide to work together. And when you see the actual murder in question, this is a very, very adult comic with very, very real grit to it. So if you're into looking at old, like gruesome morgue photos or something like that, you'll get the chill that this is trying to give. But yeah, I gotta say it's very real though. Don't expect a wacky comic with like crazy action bubbles or any of that. You're getting none of that. This is definitely one of those more like the paranormal, but like they're trying to make it look like something that could take place in reality. So there is no they. This is a one-man project, so I have to give props where it's due. Mr. Kudransky, you're in Abyssic Hate and Burzum territory, but in the good ways, not in the bad ways. So, and finally, but not least, we have the 6th issue of Battlebeast, and we get our big battle that was all built up with the first 5 issues, and this comic might just have a whole lot more to give. All right, so we got our double dose of Robert Kirkman today. Get it. Get your double dose. Okay, that made me feel like I was 5. All right, so anyhow, what can I say? We already kind of went through, if you want to check out the previous video, the first 5 issues of Battlebeast showed me that this comic had legs. I don't know how many issues it's going for. But what I do know is that they could go for 100 at this point. It's so entertaining. Maybe that's an overshot, but I could deal with like 24 issues of this. I think it has the legs. Big reveal at the end of this issue. It shouldn't be a surprise, but it was still it started to feel like his own little universe and not the Invincible universe. But yeah, big reveal. We get our big Titanic fight along with a few other surprises. Maybe certain characters are possibly going to be coming back. What I am going to, talk about more is the fact that, I read the first 5 issues, and I really enjoyed it sequentially. And I wanted to kind of like compile the last, the remainder of the series, and then read it all in one satisfying read. Honestly, one issue, and it just I immediately remembered all the characters. I remembered all the plot points. I remembered every issue beforehand. This was just like a plain old satisfying read, and honestly, the more I get caught up on titles, the more I think I'm gonna, kind of stick to the ones that give me this experience. Just out the gate, I can pick up where I left off, and I haven't lost a thing, even though I'm juggling 100 different titles in my head and trying to remember all these different things. Battlebeast stood out for me, and so yeah, I mean, the one issue at a time thing. This is a great comic to break into. Anytime now, you can expect the trade paperback to pop up, so you can get these first 6 issues real easy. Hit your comic store up. It's so entertaining. You're not gonna find this stuff in movies. This is this for me. I'm gonna say 9 on Skinbreaker. No Man's Land. I mean, I can't find a thing wrong with it. So let's give it a 9 as well. Maybe an 8. It's a little wordy. The readability was a little bit stuffy for me, but I have to appreciate the authenticity. And on Battlebeast, give me a 10. All right, these first 6 issues are what comics are about, and Robert Kirkman gets comics. Ryan Ottley gets art. They have found the perfect synergy working together, and I cannot say enough good things. Get all 3 of these books, and also added to the weekly show when these pop up each week. When one of these books pop up, I'm gonna give you a faster review on it, because I'm trying to highlight these shorter runs, or these lesser, the non-DC Marvel stuff. And so we also had on the last one of these, we're gonna be keeping up with Everything Dead and Dying, a nice little zombie thing, a little love note to The Walking Dead, if you ask me. And then we also are going to be concluding, it's going to be in one more episode, the Invisible Man miniseries. So anyway, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm going to keep this comic content coming. I'm going to keep the music review content coming. I'm going to keep the drum content coming. This is Drum Boy Reads Slow, and I am so tired, you wouldn't believe it. Have a great rest of your weekend, and I will see you when my weekend starts, Monday and Tuesday, with more reviews. We're entering the absolute universe, finally, at long last. Plus, I might get off some of those Rippaverse titles. I have to get to those. I have a few of them read, but I want to get through all of them so that I can just spotlight them like I did Distillery, and we do got a part 2 on Distillery. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time.